So final walkthroughs, we try to do those on the same day, right before closing, typically. But what happens if the final walkthrough doesn't go well?
Mm. Well, I think well is a very broad,
Yeah.
broad definition of it doesn't go well. But let's say there's trash in the place, or the walls are destroyed, or the carpet's tore up. Those are some of the things that can happen. Usually, money resolves everything, but the problem is we cannot put that on the final closing disclosure or settlement statement. People shouldn't be paid outside of closing. There's always a way to take care of it. Sometimes we do an escrow to the seller's attorney. The seller's attorney will send a check after closing. But usually there's a way to resolve it. If it's a tragic disaster, the closing might have to be postponed a day or two. Luckily, I've only had that happen one time. I had a piano left at a house, and the seller got it out the same day. What buyers should understand is sellers might have to leave trash at the curb, and we can work out an agreement that if the buyer gets fined, then the seller's going to be responsible for it. There's usually nothing that can't be resolved. But if it's such a tragic issue, there's damage to the house, and we can't resolve it, we can always try to push back the closing. Sometimes even to later in the day. I had one where the buyer got up, walked out, and came back later that day, and we resolved it. So, work with your agent, work with your attorney. I know it's very emotional for a buyer, but that's why you want an agent. I know a lot of buyers want to just work directly with the seller and sometimes not use an agent, but there's a benefit to having the agent and attorney because they're going to be a neutral third party removed to try to help calm down the situation and resolve it because you do want the house. That's why you put in an offer.
Yeah, very true.